Every load, your dryer runs for about an hour, quietly adding to the electric bill. Over 60 million Americans live under HOAs, and more than half of those associations restrict or ban clotheslines outright. But here's what most homeowners don't know. Some of those bans are already illegal and completely unenforceable. The real law exists, and it changes everything about how you dry your clothes. Hanging laundry on a line was once a basic piece of household infrastructure, as ordinary as a kitchen sink. It was a standard chore rather than an environmental statement or a niche preference. The setup was remarkably simple. A length of hemp rope or galvanized wire stretched across a yard, paired with a basket of wooden pins. This basic apparatus relied entirely on free energy. Ambient sunlight and moving air did the physical work of evaporating moisture, adding nothing to the household electricity budget. In rural areas, long lines ran between wooden posts in open grassy yards. In dense cities, the practice adapted to tighter spaces. Urban tenements featured lines strung across shared courtyards, from back porches or across flat rooftops and small balconies. Historical household manuals and photographs from the early 20th century show that outdoor laundry was a highly visible, routine part of daily life in every neighborhood. But the method had clear limitations. A sudden rainstorm, freezing winter temperatures, or a lack of outdoor space could disrupt the chores. Yet, it remained the undisputed standard. The post-war housing boom of the late 1940s and 1950s fundamentally changed how Americans managed their households. Manufacturing giants like General Electric and Hotpoint began heavily marketing complete all-electric packages, presenting the automatic dryer as the ultimate symbol of modern convenience, progress, and middle-class status. In 1953, Hotpoint catalogs actively promoted these all-electric laundries, shifting public expectations. What was once a routine outdoor chore was quickly rebranded as an outdated practice. At the same time, the physical shape of American communities was changing. Developers built sprawling planned suburbs like the Levittown developments, embedding covenants, conditions, and restrictions directly into the property deeds. These recorded rules established the early frameworks for homeowners associations to maintain strict exterior standards. Over the next few decades, developers and newly formed HOA boards targeted clotheslines, treating visible laundry as clutter that disrupted the planned uniformity of the neighborhood. They argued that outdoor lines threatened property values and ruined community aesthetics. Today, more than 60 million Americans live within communities governed by HOAs or similar association rules. According to data from the Sightline Institute, over half of these associations actively restrict or outright ban visible outdoor clotheslines. For millions of households, this aesthetic standard forces a total reliance on the electric grid. A typical conventional dryer cycle consumes about 2 kilowatt-hours of electricity. Over a year, this single appliance adds significant energy costs and potential HOA fines to a household budget, turning a private design preference into a mandatory recurring charge. An HOA handbook rule is not always the final authority. Across the United States, a quiet legal shift has begun to strip homeowners associations of their power to enforce these decades-old bans, turning a basic household chore into a protected right. This legal counter-offensive began in Florida. In 1992, the state legislature amended the Florida Solar Rights Act, creating the nation's first explicit statutory protection for clotheslines under Florida statutes, Section 163.04. The wording of the statute is precise. It declares that any covenant, deed restriction, or HOA declaration may not prohibit the installation of solar collectors, clotheslines, or other energy devices based on renewable resources. By grouping a simple length of rope with high-tech solar panels, the law established a powerful legal precedent. Hanging laundry is a valid method of harvesting solar energy, overriding aesthetic objections. Under this statutory framework, when a state law preempts private covenants, any outright ban written into an HOA's bylaws becomes legally void. However, this does not mean homeowners have a blank check to hang laundry anywhere. The statute specifies that protections do not automatically authorize every installation or location. HOA boards can still enforce reasonable regulations, such as requiring lines to be placed out of direct view from the street or restricting their use on condominium balcony railings. Florida's approach served as a blueprint. Today, at least 19 states have passed either explicit right-to-dry laws or broader solar access protections. The legal language varies significantly by jurisdiction. States like Colorado, Hawaii, Maine, Maryland, and Vermont explicitly name clotheslines in their statutes, while others rely on broader renewable energy definitions that courts must interpret. There is no federal right-to-dry law, leaving a patchwork of local regulations. Because of this, thousands of HOA handbooks still carry illegal, unenforceable bans. Board members often rely on outdated boilerplate documents copied decades ago, completely unaware that state law has rendered their rules void. This persistent legal gap, combined with a general lack of homeowner awareness, allows obsolete restrictions to remain unchallenged on the books. Exercising the right to dry laundry begins with a clear look at your immediate property line. A basic setup requires nothing more than 2 sturdy posts or wall anchors, a length of weatherproof line, and wooden clothespins. For those concerned with neighborhood aesthetics, retractable lines that pull back after use or folding drying racks offer low-profile alternatives. Before installing any equipment, the first step is reviewing the state's exact solar access or right-to-dry statute. Homeowners must look closely at how the law defines protected equipment, whether it specifies clotheslines, drying racks, or uses a broader definition like solar energy devices. It is equally important to identify who the law binds. Some statutes override homeowners associations, condominiums, and rental leases, while others only restrict local municipal governments. Do not rely on a simplified neighborhood handbook. The answer lies in the legally binding declaration of covenants, bylaws, and architectural rules. These documents must be compared directly against the state statute. Even when a state protects the practice, laws often contain exceptions for historic preservation, fire safety, and frontage visibility. On private patios and balconies, a portable drying rack may bypass visibility bans entirely, but shared structures like condominium railings or common courtyards usually remain under strict association control. Ownership of a private outdoor space does not grant automatic immunity from neighborhood rules. If a dispute arises, homeowners should document their proposed setup, check local building codes, and request official association records in writing before seeking qualified legal counsel. This methodical approach helps clarify local boundaries, as statutes vary significantly and do not offer a blanket guarantee. For centuries, hanging laundry was a universal human rhythm. Across every climate, class, and settlement, stretching wet fabric to catch the sun and wind was simply how communities survived. The introduction of the electric dryer changed the speed of this chore, but it also did something else. It hid it. Visible household labor was swept into closed metal boxes, transforming a collective outdoor routine into a private indoor expense. This shift created a modern class divide. For households with fewer resources, aesthetic rules against clotheslines impose direct financial penalties. The neighborhood ideal of perfectly empty yards cast visible work as a sign of low status, stripping people of their basic autonomy over their own property. It remains a striking modern irony that a practice as old as civilization, powered entirely by the free heat of the sun, required state intervention to make it legal again. Everything I've documented across this channel, the food, the water, the soil, and the home itself, is available right now in the Lost American Home Manual. Get your copy at earlhadley.card.co or the link in the description. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss what's coming next. Tell me in the comments, does your HOA restrict clotheslines? And did you know your state might already protect your right to use one? If you believe drying your clothes in the sun for free shouldn't have needed a law to make it legal again, you already know what to do. Subscribe to the channel to support our research. The battle over our backyards is far from over. As utility rates climb, reclaiming the sun is no longer just about savings, it's a fight for basic property autonomy. The true cost of modern convenience isn't on our electric bills, it's the self-reliance we traded away.